paperboys and evening TV. Everywhere you look, there's a heart.
Tankers Fantasy Football. We are back, people. We're talking about some buy lows, some sell highs at your respective positions for week 4 going in here. Let's start it off. I think there's some really solid buy low running backs right now.
Yeah, a lot of them, you know, they're injured guys. Maybe you're on teams that have losing records that can't sit around and wait for these maybes to come around and get it sexy for them. We're going to lead off with some Leonard Fournette. I thought he was all in. I thought he was going to suit it up this Sunday. No questions asked. Late call on the inactive was very surprising, but I'd be very surprised if he's not active this week. If he's not active this week, I'm starting to fucking worry a little bit about it. But I think all in, especially after how they got just shit planted at home by the Titans, coming off that Patriot win, having that Patriot fucking hangover against the Titans at home. I think they got to try to get Leonard on the field.
I just don't see them anyway, seeing them lose to the Titans, then lose to the Jets. They're going to put everything out there they can. If Fournette is even limited in practice, which he was limited to last couple days last week, and really looked like he was the right side of questionable, but late scratch there. But I really think Fournette's a guy who not only can contribute this week, but it's definitely a guy who can carry you to a title. Another guy, Dalvin Cook, looking like he was potentially going to be going. I think the Thursday night game had something to do with it.
I think
they
took the Bills for granted. They didn't think they had to run him out there to beat the Bills, and I didn't think they had to run him out there to beat the Bills. But apparently the Bills were on that juice. They had something to prove out there on Sunday and just went up to Minnesota and fucking crushed them. I think the Vikings have to try to get Dalvin back out there, especially against the Rams. Dalvin Cook or no Dalvin Cook, I expect the Rams to just
we're
push
talking
their shit
possibly
in.
the best team in the NFL here. And you're going to need everything at your disposal here. And I really don't think that without Dalvin Cook, they can get it done against LA.
Yeah, even with him, I think they are on the ropes, getting fucking embarrassed. Imagine being a Viking fan leaving that game on Sunday. You're just like bewildered. You're like, what the fuck?
I'll tell you what, if there's anyone who's in pick'em.
When I was a Bears fan, baby, I was fucking just slathering, bathing, and just fucking.
If anyone picked all the correct winners
rubbing the tears all
this
over
week,
my...
let me know. You had to not know anything about football. You had to just be picking teams because you like the colors of their jerseys.
Oh
picking
my
Jacksonville
God.
losing.
How did it happen?
Picking New England losing. Picking Minnesota losing. Picking Green Bay losing.
Fucking fire out there. Another hurt running back that should be coming back in the next week or two. I think you could probably get this guy the cheapest of any of the three guys we're giving you here. I'm talking about Devontae Freeman. They just haven't given the nod. Tevin Coleman's the starter, but he's got you 11 and 12 PPR points the last 2 weeks.
I feel like no matter what, he's in that 12 to 18 ballpark, whether Freeman's in the lineup or not. I don't think they
just don't trust him for some reason. Giving Ito Smith a bunch of looks, and Tevin Coleman just hasn't got it loose, hasn't gotten it sexy, has not stolen any spotlight from Freeman. So if Freeman can come back at 100%, I think he's reinserted as the bell cow of this offense.
All right, let's talk some guys you're going to ride or you're going to die with here. Guys that you're going to hold on to, or you can choose, I'm going to sell high on these guys. Started off, how about a little AP here?
Dice call. I feel like you gotta move. I feel like you're that week 1. You're like, man, I'll just hold on to him against the Colts, and then I'll sell high. And then he shit it out there with 11 carries for 20 yards against the Colts. But I think his reemergence against the Packers, who are 32nd and DVOA for fucking against the run this year so far, I think this is the time. I think he is giving you another fucking birthday present out there. I think this is the time that you can sell high and get some high-end RB1 turnaround for Adrian Peterson. What do you think? I think you can sell him as an RB2 right now.
Okay, you said RB1.
I said RB2, didn't I?
I think you said high-end RB1.
Well, if that's what I said,
Girly.
If that's what I said, that's not what I meant.
No, I was going to say exactly that. I was like, I feel like he's got high-end RB2 value at this point.
Especially with all the injuries, all the fuckery that's been going on with the top 5, 6 round running backs. I mean, my goodness.
Let's just talk about some random names here. That would you trade him for? How about like a Jay Ajayi?
I think I'd fucking hold AP if I did.
What about like Matt Breida?
With the fucking Jimmy, if Jimmy G was there, I'd say sell him for Breida. I think he'll still get a lot of work because the Niners are going to be chasing, but I'm just worried that it might be more 3 and out than expected.
You think you ride or die with Breida here?
I think you ride Breida though. I don't think you
He's
sell him.
good.
I don't think you trade AP for Breida, but I think you can. If you got Breida on your team, I think you can definitely ride or die with some Matt Breida.
He had the little scare of the injury there, but before getting out of the game for a little bit, he was averaging like 10 yards a carry.
Oh, yeah. And he came back, continued to get. I thought his season was over. I thought the Niners clearly got the itis. You know, McKinnon out for the year, Garoppolo's out for the year, their number 1 receiver, Marquise Goodwin, he's missed a couple of weeks. I mean, they had got the fucking itis. Another guy we're talking about, sell or ride. What you got? Kareem Hunt? What are you thinking?
I'll tell you what. I am honestly thinking this guy still has middle, back end RB1 value, and I just don't know if he can continue that. I mean, if you look at how his fantasy points here, without his touchdowns, we're talking back end RB2.
And none of them have been like break me off something, get loose, he earned.
Gimmies.
Like even that catch he had in week 2 for the touchdown, that was from like the 4-yard line. Last week he got that 1-foot gimme from the guy getting his teammate getting tackled at the 1-foot line. I mean, yeah, without those 3 touchdowns, we're looking at a total of like 17 fantasy points on the season.
All right, so if we're talking, who you think
Kareem Hunt has become
for?
he's become kind of touchdown dependent. It's scaring me a
I
little
think
bit.
you could get like a Jordan Howard and maybe like a flex play for a guy like
Oh
Kareem
yeah,
Hunt.
since Kareem Hunt, he's coming off those 2 touchdowns, I think you can sell him and still get that return of his draft value. I think you can still move him for that right now. And if you can trade him for, what do you think move him? What do you think move him for like Fournette and extra, since Fournette's kind of like on the hurt wagon? If you can get like a throw in out there,
I would probably feel good about it if you get a flex play with it.
Yeah, if you can get Fournette in a flex play, I think I would make that move.
All right, how about dying out here? How about one more here? Ride or die with Miami's potentially second best running back, Drake.
I really liked him coming into the season. I wanted to get a taste of him in some of my lineups. It didn't hash out that way, and I'm kind of fucking glad at this point. I mean, he has looked very pedestrian. You know, the Dolphins are 3-0, and he still hasn't done really dick all, which is ridiculous. I mean, the Dolphins are eating out there, and he hasn't done anything.
Less carries than Frank Gore. Both of them had next to no carries. But this whole offseason talk about them sharing workloads,
he had 5 carries,
everything.
Gore had 6. So
maybe
it's weird. They only ran like 39 plays. It was a weird game flow for a win.
Maybe Miami just wasn't a big believer in this offseason and knew all along that maybe Frank Gore is going to have to take some of his workload.
I just don't know what to think. Should we give him the shovel?
4 points, PPR,
4 points,
in a win.
In a home win. Oh, baby, bring it down. It's gold. It's the golden shovel, dick bums. I think we got to give it to him, right?
I mean, you paid probably a 3rd, 4th round price for
the shovel fucked with the camera. The shovel and it's flickering. It's too shiny for the camera, baby. It's fucking around. But I think you got to give it to him.
I feel like if you can get solid RB2 value for him, I feel like you move him.
Oh, yeah. Somebody's going to buy at the price you drafted him at, move the piss out of him. Oh, in on that shit for sure.
All right, how about some wide receivers here, some buy lows?
I mean, Alshon, once he comes back, Carson Wentz at the helm. Aguilar only got 6 PPR points with Wentz in there. And Zach Ertz had 10 targets. The fucking backup tight end Sam Goddard or whatever. He was second on the team with 7 targets. I think Alshon has a role, a definite carved out role that he's looking to come back to once he is ready. It might be this week, it might be next, but I think you might be able to get Alshon for like pennies on the dollar at this point. I mean, he's just been fucking killing the teams who drafted him. Maybe they just got the hate in their heart. What do you think, Baldwin or not? And I kind of like Lockett. Nobody gives Lockett any respect. He's like a wide receiver too.
They feel like he's like a gadget guy because he's like 5'7". But I mean, he can show
in the end zone every week, though.
I don't know. I feel like if you can get Baldwin for very cheap, which I think you really should be able to, considering you don't even know the timetable on this guy. If you can get him, stash him away, and maybe this guy's like a bye-week filler later on in the year, I feel like you go for it. But I feel like if the guy who has him is saying, wide receiver 2 value still at this point, I feel like you got to pass. I feel like it's a just total feel the market guy. I'm all in on stashing Doug Baldwin, but I'm not all in on buying and getting him just because you feel like you need him on your team.
Yeah, I mean, his presence, I don't think his presence will hurt Lockett, though. I think it'll put Marshall back on that waiver wire. But I think Baldwin will start taking the top coverage, and Lockett may even get more open looks out there. But I am kind of a believer in the buy on Lockett. I mean, he's getting no fucking respect. It's crazy.
The volume's still going to be there. You think at worst he's going to see 8 targets a game, you'd think.
Yeah, 6-8 targets a game. I mean, that's decent, baby. I think he has solid flex potential the rest of the season, Tyler Lockett. All right, we got some sells. Anything selling or keeping on the Calvin Ridley out there?
Something about Falcons.
I mean, we're only strictly redraft. In Dynasty or Keeper Leagues, you just fucking hold on to Calvin Ridley. We're talking about sell or keep and redraft.
I just feel like the Falcons, you can never truly trust the distribution on the offense.
I mean,
I don't know. I feel like if someone's willing to pay up, say, if you can get a wide receiver 2, I mean, even like a Will Fuller type guy. I mean, I would take Will Fuller over.
Oh yeah,
a guy like Calvin Ridley.
I'd hold Will Fuller over Calvin Ridley for sure. Will Fuller's looking like a fucking beast out there
when he's healthy. With this quarterback situation with Watson, I mean, he's a solid top shelf.
He even looks a little bit bigger. I thought.
A little thick.
He does. I don't know. That one touchdown I saw him, I was like, man, I thought. You thought it was Hopkins because they both have those fucking thick-ass fucking dreadlocks come out of the back of the helmet. Then you're like, no. That was Fuller, and he's looking thicker, babe.
I think John Ross looks thicker, dude. Like, he's got some guns on him.
I think Juju looks thicker, too. Juju's fucking tough.
Dude, Juju might be... I mean, this is a hot take.
He's the 4th-round wide receiver pick of the season, baby. He's sexy, though.
This might be a hot take, but I think he might be a better wide receiver than Antonio Brown at this point.
I mean,
I'm not talking fantasy-wide points, but if you're talking straight up trade me to another team, which one's better for my team? Like in real NFL,
yeah.
I think Juju might be a better wide receiver.
The age gap is like 8 years, so I mean, I guess you gotta go Dynasty. You gotta hold on to Juju for sure on that one. All right, we got another ride or sell of Robert Woods. I think this is if you can have a guy fall in love with Robert Woods just did, I think this is the highest his value's ever going to be, right? I mean, how can
it has to be. I think he's still, even with that week, I still feel like at best he's the 3rd best wide receiver on his own team. Like, I would still put Brandon Cooks and Cooper Kupp
over him all day. I just think it happened to be Robert Woods' day out there. I mean, Cooper Kupp and Brandon Cook still had good days.
Kupp still found the end zone.
Yeah, still like 17.8
solid points for you.
Cook still was in those high double digits out there. He hasn't scored a touchdown yet, but he has been just eating in the yards, has Brandon Cooks. All right, another ride or sell. We already hit Will Fuller. He's a definite ride. That's some Sammy Watkins.
What do you think?
Since he's on the Chiefs, I think you gotta just ride him. I mean, the fucking Chiefs are like a top 2, top 3 offense in the league.
I think they're top 1, baby.
I mean, so far, yeah. I mean, most likely, but moving forward, you gotta give him that nod. I think anybody on this Chiefs offense, I know Kareem Hunt, he has been, I mean, even Kareem Hunt's been doing dick all, but he's still been very fucking serviceable because the Chiefs just get people touchdowns.
I feel like,
Crazy.
I mean, Pat Mahomes, obviously freak, obviously a stud, MVP leading candidate right here. But he's going to come down to earth at some time. And when that happens, I just really feel like it's going to be Sammy Watkins that just gets to step down a little bit.
Let it fall.
What do you think? I mean, you got to think, Pat Mahomes cannot keep up this production consistent.
Oh, if he does, he's going to throw for like 75 fucking touchdowns.
And 8,000 yards.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ.
So I feel like if there's a dip in production, I feel like it's going to be Watkins instead of a guy like Kelsey, instead of a guy like Hill, instead of a guy like Kareem Hunt.
If you can get top, and if you can sell Watkins right now as like a middle or high end wide receiver too, I would do it. If you can get that turnaround for him, I would definitely do it. But and if he's like in your first or second flex, Jesus, it's hard. It would be hard to move on from him. And that kind of just having a player on that team is just so good.
Get that nice piece.
Yeah, even I mean Tyreek Hill went out there and got just 7 last week. You know, sometimes they're gonna have their down games. Everybody's gonna have down games, even on amazing offenses. But you know, more often than not, they're gonna get it sexy for you out there.
How about a guy, kind of feast or famine, but so far this year's put up double digits every week. Talking John Brown. What do you think?
13.5 PPR points or better in each of the first 3 weeks. Downtown John Brown. Week 2 he had 10 targets. Week 3 he had 9 targets, and he has turned those into some decent fantasy wide receiver 2 production deep. I mean, I got this guy last pick of my hometown league, walking out the door to have a cigarette, picking me some John fucking Brown. I'm starting him every week. Fucking love with him.
It's gotten dark.
You know, yeah, my wide receiver situation is.
But what do you think?
Hammered.
You think he's still right?
Mike Williams and downtown John Brown are out there fucking trying to save my life, baby. They are.
What do you think? You're riding him though?
Riding him.
He's gonna continue.
You can't sell him. You can't sell him for the value that he is giving your flex play right now. I don't think
the value's right here.
The value is here, brother. That's where the value is. You can't go out there and get return on what he's been doing for you in your flex. No way somebody's going to pay the piper on John Brown and be like, Mike Crabtree's #1. Fuck all that. I tried to get Decker in that fucking, on that draft day. He was like, talk about Mike Crabtree. I was like, I bet you $20 right now John Brown has more fantasy points this season than Mike Crabtree. And he got all nervous. And he wouldn't take my action. But I would have fucking been all over it. That was a crazy bet. Like, that's like, what? John Brown's going like 10 rounds later than Michael Crabtree. What are you talking about? Well, I'm talking drunk, but I'm talking sense.
Talking reality.
I'm talking reality. Sometimes the drunk tells the truth, baby. I'm fucking out there clanging, banging some John Brown. All right, Kenny G, baby. Kenny Galladay. I think this is a solid ride.
Season darling.
This is a league winner.
This is a guy you get in your 13th, 15th round. You put him in your flex, and you don't touch him until bye weeks. Because I feel like this is a guy.
He's a league winner.
Late, and he wins a championship.
You drafted him from the 10th to the 13th, maybe even 15th round, and you're bathing in the sex. You're running
oiled up.
Even you're running this guy out in the flex, and you're just loving every fucking minute of it, right?
I think so. I mean, in the Tankers draft that we recorded,
I
was talking about how Golden Tate and Marvin Jones going at about the exact same time.
Speaking of the fucking...
And I say Golden Tate, I feel like you got to draft all day over Marvin Jones because Kenny Galladay, I feel like, is going to overtake that Marvin Jones role.
Kenny Galladay is just looking like the sexy boy deluxe out there, man.
Stafford loves him. He's got faith in him, too, throwing him 50-50 balls.
I told you that week 1 when he went out there, when they were getting their shit pushed in, he went out there over the middle and risked his well-being for that
Stafford,
ball.
don't forget about
and
that.
Garbage time, no hopes of winning. That went right here with John Brown, baby. Stafford went to bed that night, and he was thinking, that's my boy. That is my boy. He hang tough. He was hanging fucking tough for me.
Talk about boys. How
Tyler
about
Boyd.
Boyds?
Tyler
Riding or
Boyd.
dying with them.
I think you gotta. I don't think in redraft, I don't think you can get the value that, like I said, of the flex play value that he's giving you right now. I mean, even with AJ,
I mean, I don't
if
think
AJ
you-
plays, I think that's even better for him.
I mean, I don't think anyone, or I shouldn't say anyone, I don't think many people had them in
John
his
Ross
lineups
be
last
damned.
week.
He is the number 2 option on this offense. Tyler
Easy.
Eifert ain't shit. Tyler Eifert has only been playing like half the snaps.
As long as Joe Mixon is out, I feel like this is the number 2 best player on this offense. And AJ Green banged up too. We don't know the situation on that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel if Tyler Boyd has to face number 1 coverage. I don't know how it makes me feel. I know the targets will probably be there if he does, but I think AJ being on the field is,
like
is
AJ
the best
helps
case
him.
scenario for him. Yeah, I think he needs AJ to be on the field, just like Calvin Ridley needs Julio on the field.
I agree. How about your boy Big Mike? You ride or die on Mike
You
Williams.
gotta ride that, baby.
I
Uncle
mean, all he
Phil
catches are touchdowns.
had the same amount of targets as Keenan Allen week 3, baby. All in Mike Williams. Philip Rivers loves him. I mean, be damned. This Tyrell Williams, Travis Benjamin bullshit, that needs to stop. Like, he needs to be in on every 2 wide receiver set. There is no fucking reason why he shouldn't be second in wide receiver snaps behind Keenan Allen. There is no reason for it. That is ridiculous.
I agree 100%. I mean, Travis Benjamin seems like every other week he's dropping wide open touchdowns.
I mean, Tyrell Williams has speed,
He's
but
solid, but he's not Mike Williams. I mean, you drafted him in the first round. You got
Tyrell
this
Williams
boy
is kind of like
top
a
10.
Torrey Smith ass motherfucker.
You got
He's not.
Big Mike.
He's
And,
not
like,
making contested catches out there.
You got Mike as like the 7th overall pick. You play him.
Yeah, like why are you not fucking playing him? He's beasting out there. He's a fucking man. You don't have anybody else really in the red zone with that kind of size on a very high-powered offense. I think wide receiver 3 flex with a wide receiver 2 upside rest of the season, Mike Williams.
And they're going to be chucking it, that's for sure. Phil's going to throw it 40, 50 times a game minimum. Talking a couple tight ends here. I think 2 possible buy low candidates. We're talking if anyone for some reason thinks the sky is falling in New England, I feel like Gronk.
Back-to-back
He's the guy.
single-digit games for the Gronk, babe.
I mean, Jacksonville's obviously a tough matchup. Really no excuse against Detroit, I think, but he just didn't really get it done for you.
They were fucking doubling the shit out of him. Like, 2 dudes just jamming him right off the line. It was ridiculous. I mean, they were taking that Jaguar blueprint, and teams are just running with it until.
Yeah, you get your safety on him, and then you double team him.
I don't think it's going to change until guys like Edelman can show you, or Edelman and Josh Gordon can get out there and show other teams they're capable of hurting them. Because other than that, I don't see any reason why to change it. I mean, teams have been doing this back-to-back weeks. The Patriots are 0-2 back-to-back weeks, I think. You got double and triple team Gronk until proven otherwise, right?
Might as well
Why the
triple.
fuck not? I mean,
I don't think
who's
Chris
going to beat you?
Hogan's-
Chris Hogan?
I don't think Chris Hogan's
Fuck, I had
scared
faith
anyone
in
at
Hogan,
this
but
point.
bench Hogan until further notice.
He might be.
If Josh Gordon comes out on the field and does anything, Chris Hogan's cuttable.
I feel like at this point, I'm thinking get whatever you can for Chris Hogan.
I don't think he get anything. Last week was like
Can't
apparently
even get
the sell high moment because
Can't even get a high ceiling bench stash.
he's got like 7 catches on the year. Oh, so bad, dude. He does.
It's been rough. He's been a disappointment for
I was gonna run wild with the boys and the full Hollywood Hogan, and he just pissed all over that parade, bro. And I'm fucking over him.
I think
done with him.
I think another buy low tight end though. I feel like David Njoku.
I think you got to get about it. I know he only went like 2 for 36 after Mayfield came into the game, but you got to think this is a shot in the arm for this fucking Browns organization, this Browns fucking franchise, and everything's got to be looking up. All the stocks up. Carlos Hyde stock up. Carlos Hyde stock up. Landry stocks up. Landry becomes a back-end wide receiver 2 with Mayfield in my eyes.
You 1, you mean?
Oh, yeah, back-end wide receiver 1 with Mayfield in my eyes. And I think Njoku, this is the time to buy him because
I mean, even with Mayfield, he showed nothing, but I feel like this guy could be somewhere between that 5 to 10 tight end range rest of the way with him.
Come on, Njoku, I need you, bud. I need you so bad.
What do you think about, for a waiver guy, about getting Baker? What do you think? Is he worth the first waiver wire?
No, not a first waiver priority. And maybe in 2 quarterback leagues, but not in a start one quarterback league. Not a first priority.
No rookie magic out there?
If you lost Garoppolo, I guess he's worth the first waiver wire bit.
You just get the taste, though.
Yeah.
Doesn't that taste excite you?
That game became must-watch television as soon as you walked onto the field, though. I got invested instantly. It was good for football.
It was a transformation of that offense, that's for sure.
It was very sexy. Team just seemed to be trying harder. It was weird. Like, people were running faster.
Like, Baker, let's go.
Yeah,
baby.
they were like, it was crazy.
All right, people, there it is, week 4. Once again, if you liked what you saw, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment down below.
Yeah, when you subscribe, do not forget to hit that notification bell for all our weekly videos, baby, to help you get it sexy and bring home that fantasy title. Gotta have it.
There it is. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Cheeseburger. What you gonna do, brother, when Winnie the Pooh runs wild on you?